Okay, so quite a few months ago, we covered a little bit of a situation going on over at YouTube and also other places like Twitch, which were kind of implementing a lot of rules to do with like censorship and stuff, including obviously taking people's IDs, which obviously is a very big problem for many VTubers out there who wish to stay anonymous on the platform. I mean, that is one of the big reasons why people choose to stay anonymous on Twitch or on, become a VTuber in the first place, is to stay anonymous, right? And, obviously not every VTuber is like that though. Some people show their face, some people don't. And well, obviously it is a bigger problem for VTubers though, because of the whole anonymity thing, right? And people like, Bao and even other people like Megalodon VT have been very, very vocal about it in terms of, Bao saying this. Obviously, this is the thing we covered a couple of months ago, saying, so YouTube wants us to provide our IDs or our accounts being constantly hacked by crypto scammers, which we literally saw like recently with the HoloLive streamer who got hacked by a similar thing there. And yeah, they're expecting us to give them their IDs. The same with Megalodon here saying like, hey, you have all our tax info. Why can't you just like not tell me to verify? You literally have all my personal information, right? But again, obviously that is not enough. And now it's extending over to a different platform, which is Twitch. And that's why we're talking about it today. It's because a lot of these messages are precursors to what's really about to happen over on Twitch and similar streaming platforms, right? And probably YouTube a little bit more in the future. And obviously Twitch put here, in compliance with the UK's Online Safety Act, we're rolling out age assurance measures for users in the UK who want to watch content on Twitch with certain content classification labels. That may not be suitable for everyone. This process helps ensure that we provide a safe, age-appropriate experience for UK users. So yeah, obviously this is something that is rolling out in the UK, but we've seen in many cases this roll out to other countries as well, not just the UK, including obviously the US and things, and it will eventually go over there. Now, I'm not saying that, it's going to be in the next 2 weeks or so, but hey, just wait, give it some time, give it a year or so, and you might be in a similar situation as to people like me who is in the UK and has to deal with this kind of stuff, right? And there's a lot of people as well, commenting on this, saying the UK realistically, if they wanted to protect kids, block your site given your platform sexual abusers, harassers, terrorist sims who abuse their dogs, and ban people for weeks for calling a fat slob a fat. You could also stood up to them, but you don't have a spine like 4chan, which obviously, yeah, what they're saying there is essentially that Twitch tends to not ban the right people in situations. Obviously, we talked about like the Hassan stuff, all of the kind of Mizkiff stuff and everything like that. Right, they are still currently on the platform and still abusing it pretty heavily, right? And now obviously some are worse than others, and I think obviously you can have your own opinions on that, but again, Twitch aren't doing a good enough job at moderating their own platform in the first place, right? But people have been reacting to this, including like Chibi Reviews here, saying 4chan tells the UK to screw off because it's an American company. Twitch is like, let me kiss those boots, UK. I want to bend the knee harder despite allowing streamers to SA people live, obviously referring to the Nina Lin situation, which obviously, yeah, is absolutely crazy that she is still unbanned and that she is still streaming despite doing that literally on stream on the platform, right? And again, yeah, it seems like lots of people are very unhappy with this, and as I said, it's a precursor to a lot of problems that VTubers have now, because it means that a lot of UK VTubers are now going to have to give their IDs and give their information over to Twitch, which obviously they don't know how that's going to be stored, right? Which I think is pretty ridiculous, obviously, because it's going to be stored in some kind of database somewhere. People will try to target those databases, take the information, and potentially, dox people. Obviously, as you can see here, in the Bao tweet originally, people saying, get ready for the great dox in 2026, People saying it's so over, everyone's going to see how chopped I was when I got my license. Vienna saying, I'm taking my passport photo to the grave with me, no thanks. Tons of people not happy about this, because again, yeah, it is like kind of, it's a lot of personal information, right? And we've got even more VTubers as well saying Psy, again, another British VTuber there. And yeah, obviously that is an email, I'm pretty sure, or like an email notification, something that got sent to them. And the same goes for Neve here, another VTuber who says that Twitch has just introduced mandatory age checks in the UK. As of today, this applies to watching streams with certain content labels, third pick soon, but soon it will apply to streaming said content too. I just got the email this morning. I hate this country so much. And obviously, yeah, as you can see here, here is like the whole kind of thing. Yeah, it is an email. She confirms saying, yeah, as a UK-based Twitch user, we want to inform you of the changes coming to Twitch in order to comply with the UK's Online Safety Act. Starting today, we are introducing the mandatory age verification for users in the UK who want to watch certain types of content on Twitch that may not be suitable for everyone. This change helps ensure that we provide a safe, age-appropriate experience for UK users. So obviously they say that you'll need to verify that you're 18 years or older in order to watch that kind of content. And they say as well, when attempting to view this content, starting today, you'll be shown a prompt to verify your age through a quick facial scan. So again, it's not even fully through an ID scan here, it's through a facial scan, which is arguably even worse for a VTuber. Well, I don't know if it's arguably worse for a VTuber because technically their face is also in a driving license, but you know, the face thing is the things that VTubers don't like, right? But again, they still want them to hand over that information, right? And so this is a one-time process, and once completed, you won't need to verify your age on Twitch again. They say your privacy is incredibly important to us. Neither Twitch nor our third-party vendor, KID, so that's who they're using, store data from facial scans. Your video selfie is used solely for verification purposes and never leaves your device, which, yeah, obviously they tried to confirm there that does happen, but again, we all know what happened with Facebook. We all know what happened with all of these other social media platforms. Do you think they're really not storing it? Do you think they're really keeping it just on your device? I'm not too sure about that. Obviously, I'm very skeptical about these companies, especially considering what's gone on with Facebook and all of these different platforms in the past, right? Are they actually not storing it, or are they just telling you that to obviously make you do it, right? Obviously, yeah, there's probably some legal stuff as well in terms of, you know, they're not allowed to lie about that kind of stuff. But still, we've seen it happen and we've seen them get away with it. So I'm sure a lot of other companies are thinking, well, we can get away with it too. So again, you know, obviously they say that, but I'm not too kind of convinced there. Obviously, they say prior to watching certain content, existing users in affected regions may be prompted to verify their age due to watching the content with following classification labels, such as sexual themes, drugs or intoxication, excessive tobacco, violent or graphic depictions, or gambling. So yeah, that is what they are not allowed to watch. And as you can see here, obviously we talked about this in a previous video of this streamer, Kimmy VT, obviously not being allowed to watch their own stream, which was pretty crazy. They were streaming, I'm pretty sure it was Battlefield 6, and it wouldn't let them watch their own stream, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, a lot of people trying to blame it on them by saying that they made like 18 plus content. And she's like, I'm just playing like one of the most popular games that are out at the moment, you know? Battlefield 6 has been incredibly hyped up over the past couple of weeks or so, as it, you know, recently released, and she's not even allowed to play that. Well, no, she's not even allowed to watch that, sorry, on her own account, which I think is pretty crazy. And yeah, Neve goes on by saying, I don't believe I'll watch or stream this kind of content anyway, but this is just a stepping stone for the government and Twitch to crack down on perfectly normal streamers. One day they'll find COD or Battlefield 2 violent, and suddenly the normal streamers are screwed. And obviously, well, yeah, that already happened, which is pretty insane. Says, well, it looks like it does affect the mature game label. And yeah, so it's not even just like Twitch being like, okay, we're protecting you from, you know, kind of more NSFW kind of content. Like, obviously, NSFW content isn't allowed on Twitch, but at the same time, there is like this kind of like gray area. You get what I mean? Of like content that is like, obviously it's not fully NSFW, but it's like, it's teetering on the edge, and that usually gets marked as like mature or like kind of, you know, whatever, like adult content, right? And that usually it would be the thing that would get blocked, right? But it seems like what is happening is it's not just that content, it's probably that content as well, but also like games like Call of Duty and Battlefield 6 and stuff, which have a higher age rating and, you know, obviously aren't exactly very it's not like a problem for like a lot of normal people, right? But for some reason, you know, they are banning that, even though, you know, it pretty much goes against a lot of what Twitch has, you know, been like for the past, like, you know, since it was even like founded, right? It's supposed to be like a gaming platform where people are supposed to play the newest games and the newest stuff like that. And apparently, yeah, they're adding lots of like kind of censorship stuff to stop people from watching that kind of content, which I think is pretty ridiculous, right? Obviously, Twitch has changed a lot as a platform in terms of like IRL streaming getting popular and stuff like that. But again, at the core, it used to be a gaming platform that would just mainly be people playing games, right? And yeah, it seems like they're neglecting that side of Twitch even further by yeah, obviously not allowing people to watch stuff like Warzone or kind of Battlefield 6, things like that. And obviously a lot of people say, do you plan on verifying or no? As a side note, don't get why you can't be trusted. Yeah, be verified with payment info, considering they pay affiliates. And yeah, that's true as well. Obviously you're still going to be asked for your ID and stuff, despite you, or your face, or your face scan, despite you literally being paid by Twitch if you are a Twitch partner or a Twitch kind of affiliate, which I think is also pretty ridiculous too. So yeah, obviously she says, I don't plan to. No, apparently it's an automatic face scan, and people have been indefinitely suspended because the AI thinks they're under 13. Seen it happen a couple of times to people dumb as hell. So yeah, also some people are apparently getting banned there. Again, there isn't any proof there, but again, obviously I'll try to find any if it does come out. But yeah, I thought it was pretty ridiculous that I saw this stuff kind of going on. Again, I think Twitch obviously has been kind of on the downhill at the moment, especially in terms of VTuber safety and stuff. And yeah, I don't think they're doing themselves any favor with blocking a lot of UK users at the moment from viewing this kind of content. And as I said, this is just the start, right? This is just, obviously a lot of people, and I'm, I know a lot of my audience is US. I've looked at the analytics, I think it's like over 70% or something is like US. I know obviously you guys are probably sat there thinking, oh, that sucks for you, but again, we're all good. But, just remember that a lot of ideas get borrowed from other countries. We borrow stuff from the US and you guys borrow stuff from us. And yeah, sometimes it does, kind of relate to that, including stuff online, which we have seen even recently. So again, although you might be fine right now, definitely look out in the future, because there could be some more bans, and they've already started doing bans as well in the US. If you have seen with certain kind of websites, I probably can't say it on here, but again, you do have to create an account and things in certain states. So again, just watch out, because they could be doing the same in your state or in the US as well, which could be a really, really big yeah, problem. But yeah, that's essentially all there is for this. Obviously a terrible time for yeah, VTubers as a whole. And as I said, this post was kind of like a precursor to exactly what was going to happen with Twitch and everything like that. And I thought it was pretty insane. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. They've got a ton of new collabs on at the moment. So yeah, now is like the best time to get it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.